How's it going, folks? Welcome back to Zip It Up Pod. And we just wrapped up Iowa and we are headed into Richmond. So we are right now the Oreo stuffing inside of a short track NASCAR cookie. And it feels great. Feels perfect to be right where we're at. Um, let's get this episode underway. We're gonna start tonight in our fields. The emotions are running high around here, and if you follow my personal page, then you probably already know why. But if you only follow me through the podcast, well, you're about to find out why. And it's a little bittersweet, but exciting things are coming for me and my family. And so, because you are such loyal and faithful listeners, I want y'all to find out before many other people do. So tonight we're going to raise our drink, which, by the way, got to show off the Dr. Pepper logo. But we're raising a Dr. Pepper Zero with moonshine. A little cinnamon vanilla moonshine is mixed in here. Great concoction. Cheers, everyone. But we're raising our drink tonight to new beginnings, a fresh start, new places, new ideas. And so our family is actually going to be hitting the road and moving soon. Currently, we are in Central Florida, in Orlando, Florida. This is home, and this has always been home. It's been home for about 30 years, and it's really all me and my wife have ever known together. Anyway, we love traveling, though. We love getting out and about, and to be frankly honest with you, I'm over the hot sun. Now, I know pretty much anywhere you go during the summertime, it's going to be hot, but it doesn't need to be hot in January. So we're going to hit the road for somewhere a little bit cooler during the winter months without being overly cold. And yeah, me, my wife, and our two kids, two little boys, who y'all have seen plenty on the podcast, social media pages. I think, me and her are very excited to be going. I'm not sure the boys quite understand yet. The older one definitely gets it. And we've talked up the move to him, and he's very excited, but not sure the 3-year-old gets it yet. So it'll start to click when we get there. But it's looking like next week will be our moving week. So I wanted to give everyone a heads up that this is probably the last time that the podcast setup looks like it does. Now I'm pretty sure I'm going to have this picture and this logo behind me in the next studio. But it will not be where I'm sitting right now. And so I believe next Wednesday, I won't have everything set up by then, but we'll be in a new location. This is probably our last podcast in Orlando, which has been home for many, many years, and we'll always be home. But we're looking forward to a fresh start in a new place. And then we're actually going to be headed to North Carolina, which I'm very excited about. This is a move that me and my wife have been praying about for quite some time, and we really wanted to do this for the past few years, but never felt like the timing was right until just a few months ago. And so we've gone through an entire process this summer of selling our home here, and then this past weekend we went up to North Carolina to find the home that we're gonna go up there and move into, and we're very excited about that. And so looking like next week will be the time for that to happen. And we will be located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So we will be about 10 to 12 minutes from Bowman Gray Stadium. So I guess that's technically going to be my new home track. All my life, my home track has been Daytona. And now I guess I'm going to have a new home track of Bowman Gray. Martinsville will be right up the road. Charlotte Motor Speedway is not too far, about an hour away. I'm sure Richmond's, going to be a decent, easy drive. Bristol. I don't know. There's going to be some tracks that we're going to be hitting. Just excited to get up there and get in that culture, the racing culture that we just crave all the time. And excuse me. Yeah, it's been on my heart to get up into that area. I do have some goals for my career that I just don't want to waste any more time on not achieving those goals. And so I feel like the best thing that we can do for me to achieve those career goals in mine are to get to that location. It gets us a little bit closer to where I want to be. So I'm looking forward to that. And I know it's a kind of like a somber mood right now that I'm speaking with. And to be honest with you, I am elated. I'm very excited. But also, it's just going to be bittersweet time for the next week, telling family and friends bye, and just making sure everything goes smooth. It's been obviously a lot of stress that's been weighing us down, but also a lot of our faith is being exercised right now, and God has had an obvious handprint the entire way through. So um, we're pretty pumped to get this going. But yeah, just want to raise our drinks to new beginnings, a fresh yard of grass, okay, for me to cut, a big yard of grass for me to cut. Looking forward to that. Um, and uh, and more tracks, more NASCAR, more racing. Can't wait. All right. Hey, cheers. Let's have ourselves an episode. We are still going to talk a ton of NASCAR today, but I wanted to get that one out of the way. However, I do have like one lead for you today, I guess, in our NASCAR news section. But as you have seen, NASCAR has already been rolling out the schedule for next season, and more and more dates keep being officially announced. Now, you could read Jordan Bianchi through The Athletic. You could probably read what he's written up on the schedule for next season. I have not yet, but we know Jordan knows a lot about the schedule, and so I'm pretty sure we can all just kind of put our minds together and figure out what the schedule will look like. But as for NASCAR officially announcing the schedule for next season, we do know that the Daytona Clash is moving back onto the schedule instead of being at Bowman Gray Stadium. So it's kind of crazy that my home track currently of Daytona, which did not have the Clash, I'm moving away from that track to Bowman Gray, which currently did have the Clash, but now they're sending the Clash back down south to Florida, where I am leaving from. So I guess they're trading the Clash for me, and that's an unfair trade. But no, look, I obviously get it. Bowman Gray last year, I think it was delayed like 3 days because of snow. And by the time that they were able to run that race, it was time to pack up the haulers to get down to Daytona for the 500. And just can't do that. So I totally get that. I don't like that it's going to be on the super speedway. I just don't think you're going to get much of a show and much of a competition from drivers, being that it's on the oval. It's obviously dangerous racing out there, so they're not going to make crazy moves. You wouldn't think anyway. Maybe they will. It's going to be a good practice for those drivers that are running the Clash, but I just kind of wish maybe they were doing something different. Maybe find a local track down there in Georgia or Florida, for the Clash. But hopefully Bowman Gray can stay on the schedule somewhere. I was kind of hoping maybe the All-Star race, but this morning looks like the All-Star race was announced to go back to North Wilkesboro. So they were just a points race this season, and now it's going to be the All-Star race. So Dover's losing that one. I would assume Dover stays on the schedule, but we're obviously seeing it all unfold every week. For the past couple weeks, there's been 1 or 2 dates announced officially. So we will know the full schedule very soon. But man, I got to tell you though, I loved having Bowman Gray in NASCAR, like in the Cup Series. And so this past weekend, we were out there in the area looking at houses. And so we spent the evening at Bowman Gray, took in some local racing. Really cool track, really cool atmosphere. Okay. I think the atmosphere is what makes that track. There's a reason they call it the Madhouse, man. I have never seen so many birds fly in one venue. It was amazing. So I'd love to see them keep the Cup Series at Bowman Gray. If not Cup, maybe at least O'Reilly and Trucks, or have some kind of presence there. But really neat track. However, I'm not like bent over it. It's not destroying me because that's going to be my new location of residency. Um, I've got plenty of tracks in the area that I'm looking forward to visiting and going back and forth to. I just thought I'd shout out Bowman Gray. Had a really fun time this past weekend and can see why they call it the Madhouse. But yeah, we'll continue to watch the schedule. All right, so let's go ahead and talk Iowa recap. This past weekend, they raced on Sunday afternoon at Iowa, and Ty Gibbs holds off Christopher Bell for his second win of the season, and that is his second win of his career, obviously, in the Cup Series. Now, what's crazy is Christopher Bell, looked again like he had the fastest car, but being that this next-gen car just cannot make passes, Bell was unable to get around Gibbs, and Bell ends up finishing second again, which is his 7th runner-up finish this season. Incredible that he's finished second on 7 different occasions. Still no wins yet. And Ty Gibbs, though, with the big win, huge result for him. He's actually now plus 900 odds to win the championship this season, which is the 4th best odds. He's obviously behind Blaney, Reddick, and Hamlin. And not in that order, by the way. Not in that order. I'm pretty sure the order is Hamlin, Blaney, Reddick, and then Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is actually tied with Christopher Bell right now for 5th best odds to win the championship at plus 900. But Ty Gibbs, yes, he's getting a little bit more respect at plus 900, but still don't think maybe he's getting all the respect that he's due. He moved up to second in the points, and it's kind of crazy to think he's up to second in the points. Last season, he struggled in the point standings, and we thought, going to the new, how do I want to say this? Going to the new points format. Now, maybe he was going to struggle again. It kind of seemed like he was, living on the edge and not collecting as many points as he should, and that this system might hurt him a little bit, but it seems to have helped him. And he's been terrific this year. I'm not a huge Ty Gibbs fan, and I'm not a big Ty Gibbs hater either. I probably dislike him more than I like him, but man, he's proven it right now, and has put he and his team in great position entering the chase here in a few weeks. But as I said, he's moved up to second. What is crazy coming out of this Iowa race is the movement that we have had in the point standings following this one race alone is more significant than we've seen all season when we've left a race weekend. So let me go ahead and inform you what all took place coming out of Iowa. So Ty Gibbs has jumped all the way to second in the points. And he's been up there top 5 all year, but now he's second. Tyler Reddick has now fallen to 4th. And this was the points leader probably 2.5 months ago. What looked to be midway through the season, had over a 100-point lead, was running away, won 5 of the first 9 races. And he is in an absolute free fall right now and lost that entire point lead and now has fallen all the way to 4th in the points. Now, it's a big gap from him to Briscoe, so I don't believe he's going to fall any further. But he's not the only driver to have a really bad summer and to give up as many points, as some other guys out there. But very significant that he was the points leader. Now he's all the way down to 4th. And remember, your position going into the chase, that dictates how many points you enter the chase with. And so you want every position you can get here in the regular season, right? Now, Chase Briscoe had a little rough start to the season. He's all the way up to 5th now in the points, coming off of a Championship 4 appearance last year. Now this year, they seem to be hitting their stride at the right time. And all Joe Gibbs Racing drivers are in the top 6 in the point standings. And all 4 JGR drivers are ahead of the very first Hendrick Motorsports driver. And this isn't HMS podcast. It hurts me to say, but it is factual. So I feel like I need to provide you with factual information and the truth. So with that being said, Chase Elliott has now dropped to 7th in the points, and he is the highest Hendrick driver. He's also the highest Chevy. Not by much, because Carson Osbar's right behind him. Kyle Larson has now fallen to 10th in the points, and he has proven to have speed. He's been qualifying pretty well lately, but he's got no momentum on his side. Once they get into their race on Sundays, something happens and it all comes crashing, and they are crashing through the points right now. I believe that I remember them being as high as 4th at some point this season. Now they are down to 10th, and they are free falling just like that 45 team is. Now, on the bright side, and as bright as it's going to get probably, but William Byron is now up to 11th. He's been in that 12th spot in the points for, it seems like, forever. But he finally jumped up 1 spot. So we'll take it. And shout out Willie B. As I said, we were in the area looking for homes this past weekend. So we flew back here to Orlando on Monday afternoon. So we spent Monday morning over at the Hendrick Motorsports shop and a couple other shops in the area. But as soon as we walked in the campus, we actually ran into William Byron, who was walking in with his iced latte, headed to probably to a meeting. So shout out to him for taking a picture with me. Cool little moment. The day after he jumped up a spot in the points. So hopefully things were a little bit brighter in that room when they were talking about their race weekend recap as well. All right, next on our list of movement in the point standings, we got Joey Logano, who has now climbed all the way up to 13th in the points. And he hasn't had a strong summer. He's just had a strong month. And so ever since he won North Wilkesboro, he has been on one. And I'd imagine he'll probably be strong again this week at Richmond. And they're on a heater right now. Logano looks safely in the chase right now with his current position, I believe. And who knows what kind of noise they might make, because they're going into the chase with some momentum right now. And then last one I want to mention is Ross Chastain. Now, Ross is the closest that he's been, in a chase position or to a chase position. He's been in a while, it seems like. He's been around 20, 21st all season long. But right now, he's up to 18th, and he's only minus 47 points to the cutoff. So with 3 races remaining, he's got to make up about 15 a week. A little bit more than that, he's going to be in prime position going to Daytona, where anything can happen. And Ross is he's just barely staying close enough to where he is a big threat. So he's one of those guys you kind of expect to be in the chase, but has had one of those abysmal seasons. But this past week at Iowa, they have kind of repositioned themselves back into contention for a chase spot. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's all the like the big topics coming out of Iowa. I'm going to go ahead and inform you how our Hendrick drivers did, which again wasn't great. Hendrick Motorsports right now is in such a valley. It's been a while since you've seen us statistically this bad. But we had one car finish in the top 10 this past week, and that was William Byron. So he started 19th, and stage 2, he finished 7th, and then he finished 9th for the race. Chase Elliott started 32nd this past weekend. He didn't score any stage points, but he finished 15th, 1 lap down. He actually started the weekend off terribly by wrecking in practice. That just set them behind the 8 ball. And so on Sunday during the race, they tried a different strategy just to see if they could get some track position. It helped. I think that's the only reason we have a decent result. Otherwise, I mean, this was a 30th place car. Um, yeah, the way the weekend started, to salvage 15th out of it, I'd say that's on the plus side. So good job for Alan G making those calls like he did to get his track position and Chase to keep it in a good spot just to get something out of it and not to fall even further in the points. Next up, we got Kyle Larson, who started second. Like I said, he has speed right now. Saturday was fine, but then came Sunday. Now, stage one, he finished third, but no stage points in stage two, and he ultimately finishes 33rd, down 18 laps. And so everyone's seen the clip. We got put in a bad spot by John Hunter Nemechek, and Larson kind of had to get out of the gas and was rolling through the corner 4 wide, and that just was not going to work. Not enough room for those guys, and actually collected Alex Bowman, who got the worst end of the deal. But both Larson and Bowman kind of killed their day from there. Ooh, excuse me. And so, yeah, like I said, Bowman got the worst end of that. He was having a bad weekend, but looked a little bit racy on Sunday. But Bowman started 30th, didn't score stage points, and he ultimately finishes 34th, minus 156 laps. He was out of the race as soon as that wreck happened. So that is just the story of our season, how it's been going. Anytime something looks to be going our way, something's going to come crashing down upon us. And you're just kind of used to it at this point. I am very numb to it. I expect it now. That's how the season has gone. All right, on Saturday in the O'Reilly race, Corey Day started 8th, and in stage 1, he finished 9th. Stage 2, he finished 6th, but he also was involved in a wreck in the third stage. He finished 36th, minus 67 laps. Now, I did not watch this race. This was going on, I believe, the same time that we were at Bowman Gray, or at least in that area. So had a buddy text me that Corey Day had wrecked out of the race. Haven't even seen the replay from it, but that's also kind of how Corey's season has gone to. Either wrecks or he's safely in the top 10, contending for a top 5 position. And that is, by the look of things, that's how that went for Corey on Saturday. So let's give you the current point standings for both the Cup and the O'Reilly Series. We'll start with Cup Series. Chase Elliott is 7th in the points, minus 266 to the leader. Kyle Larson is 10th in the points. He's minus 294. William Byron is 11th in the points. He's minus 323. And then Alex Bowman still 29th in the points, minus 610. And then Corey Day in the O'Reilly Series is 5th in the points. He's minus 321 to the points leader. And that is how we leave Iowa. Then we go straight to Richmond on a short week. Only 6 days to prepare. Race will be on Saturday. And this is a classic short track Saturday night summer race. Richmond is back. Now, I don't think the racing is going to be great at Richmond, but it just feels like classic, true NASCAR, and I'm here for it. So I'm done with these Sunday night races. I love having night races, by the way. Even a Sunday night race is cool, but it ain't like a Saturday night race at Richmond or at Daytona or at Bristol in the summertime. Yeah, nothing like it. So coming into this race, though, Hendrick Motorsports has 12 wins at Richmond all time, and Hendrick Motorsports also has 19 poles, which is the most all time in the series. But Larson himself has 21 starts at Richmond. That includes 2 wins, 2 poles, 5 top 5s, 11 top 10s. He's led 355 laps, and his average finish is 10.4, which is 5th best among current drivers. Chase Elliott has 18 starts at Richmond. That includes no wins, no poles, but he's got 6 top 5s, 8 top 10s. He's led 105 laps, and his average finish is 12.2. William Byron has 14 starts at Richmond, which includes no wins, no poles. He's got just 1 top 5 and only 3 top 10s. He's led 239 laps at Richmond, and his average finish is 14.8. And then Alex Bowman has 18 starts at Richmond. That includes 1 win, no poles. 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s. He's led 19 laps, and his average finish is 18.2. So now let me give you the betting odds from the Hard Rock betting app. For the Cup Series, your favorite to win the race this Saturday night is Denny Hamlin once again. He is plus 425. And then here's a look at our Hendrick drivers. Larson is plus 1,100 to win the race. Byron is plus 1,750 to win. Elliott is plus 2,250 to win. And Bowman is plus 6,000. And then I got some notables for you to consider as well. Christopher Bell is plus 500 to win this race. So that is the second best odds in the field. But of course, he still has no win this season. Ryan Blaney is plus 800 to win. He's the highest Ford in the field. Ty Gibbs is plus 1,000, obviously coming off of the Iowa win to a similar track, and he's proven to be pretty good at short tracks. Austin Dillon is plus 1,200 this weekend. This guy's the Richmond ringer. He's going to be tough to beat. He's won the last 2 Richmond races. One was, kind of mixed with controversy. But last year he kicked everyone's butt. So Austin Dillon has this track down, and the books know it. Josh Berry is plus 4,000 this week, and he's coming off a top 5 at Iowa. Looks strong. And, he entered the Cup Series as a short track kind of guy. So maybe he builds off the top 5 momentum, and it carries over to Iowa. Ross Chastain, just talked about him a few minutes ago. He's plus 4,000 to win this weekend, and, he is still in the hunt for a chase spot. So he needs another good run coming out of Iowa as well with a little bit more momentum. And Ryan Preece, I took him last week as my long shot, and that was the wrong take, but he might have finished top 10. Anywho, he's plus 5,000 to win at Richmond this week. So long odds, but another guy that could go out there and impress possibly. All right, let's make our 3 predictions, and then I'll give you the weekend schedule before we conclude this episode. But this weekend, my Hendrick winner, I'm debating last minute if I'm going to switch it or not, because I've been saying for quite some time that I'm sticking with Larson until he wins, but that might just be burying him even deeper in the hole. I think I am just hammering Larson with the zip it up jinx, and I don't want to do that anymore. So while Larson should go out there and be our top contender, I'm going to pick Chase Elliott, another good short track driver. And Chase doesn't have a ton of momentum either, but he has proven this season that if someone's going to win from our team, it's going to be him. So we'll go with the 9 car and hope for the best. My non-Hendrick pick this week, I'm not going to pick the favorite to win the race, but I'll pick the guy right below him. I'll go with Christopher Bell. At some point, he's going to break through and not finish second. He's running really good right now. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it's this weekend that he gets it done. And he's a great driver at New Hampshire, which is coming up very soon as well. So maybe his momentum starts this weekend at Richmond and then carries over to New Hampshire and maybe Daytona. Maybe further down the line. I hope not. But yeah, I'm gonna pick him this weekend as our non-Hendrick pick. And then our long shot, I'll go with Ross Chastain, just because this guy might just be picking up a little bit of steam amidst the pressure of trying to get a chase spot. And I don't feel like there's many other long shots in the field that can go contend for a win, but I think Ross can. So I'll take him this weekend. All right. Weekend schedule, it looks like this. Trucks race on Friday night at 7:30. That will be on FS1. The O'Reilly Series is off, so we won't see them again until I think next weekend. Excuse me. And then the Cup Series races on Saturday night at 7 o'clock, and that will be on USA. And folks, that's all I got for you this week. Once again, thank you for joining in and tagging along. It's a rough season. I would imagine many of the listeners are Hendrick Motorsports fans. So look, I'm right there with you. It is tough sledding out here for us. And we just had Wade on last week telling us how great JGR is and how bad we are this year. But that's the truth. Like, that's the reality of things right now. I couldn't disagree with him at all. But this is our team, and we do have a fighting chance. It doesn't look like a strong fight that we can put up, but we're going to put up a fight. And so, hey, we're going to keep on keeping on. We're going to stay the course, and we're going to keep doing our thing and hope our boys turn it around. And maybe it's this weekend. We're going to turn around at some point. Maybe it's the off season, but maybe it's this weekend in Richmond. Hey, anywho, y'all stay safe, whatever you end up getting into this weekend. Hope your families are doing well. I can't wait to get back on here next weekend from a new location and still deliver our podcast like we do every week. All right. Y'all stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you soon.